What is up, everybody? Astrocastrophe here from the Astrocastrophe, my own personal junkyard of news and misinformation, conspiracies that will make you vote for the wrong candidate, and everything you ever wanted to know about the current thing. So today, we're going to be talking about what is going on with Brittany Griner. It appears that she has been extradited from Russia and she is now returning to US soil. And what I can say about that is good for her. But unfortunately, we have just traded off our golden goose and we are no longer going to be able to use Victor Bout as a means of negotiation if we ever want to get Paul Whelan back. This was a man who was sentenced to 25 years for conspiring to kill Americans and acquiring aircraft missiles and exporting them. He supplied these to terrorists. His nickname is the Merchant of Death. And if you remember that Nicolas Cage film called Lord of War, well, he kind of gave some influence to that, to say the very least. He was arrested in 2008 for attempting to sell 100 missiles to undercover agents that were working for the United States, posing as Colombians that were allegedly going to use those missiles to kill US troops. So we traded this guy off, who was going to effectively kill our soldiers, for Brittany Griner. We sold off the one guy we could have used in future negotiations for people such as Paul Whelan, who was arrested in 2018 on espionage charges. He was enlisted in the Marines. He was serving his time, and he was convicted in 2020 with a 16-year sentence. He will probably never see the light of America again. Not with this administration. Biden said, sadly, for totally illegitimate reasons, Russia is treating Paul's case differently than Brittany's, and while we have not yet succeeded in securing Paul's release, we are not giving up. We will never give up. Okay. This is the man who just made that quote. This is the man who is never going to give you up. Just like Rick Astley, he's never going to give you up.
TSMC has announced a second major investment. They'll construct a second fab here in Phoenix to build chips, 3 nano chips, the 3 nano chips that are 3 nano, and you know what I'm saying. Nano, no, I don't know. And today,
so how about that? I feel that Biden doesn't even want to be here half the time. I think the first thing on his mind when he gets off on stage is getting off stage, and the last thing on his mind is getting off stage. He doesn't seem to like talking to the press. He doesn't seem to like talking to crowds of people. He doesn't seem to like being here at all. I think the guy is, you know, in his 80s with well enough right to retire, but they're forcing him to do these things. And being that he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in, he's not going to care, you know? So when he says we're never going to give up, I think he's just saying that so people will shut up and not bring it up anymore, honestly. Like this guy, what is his name? Micah Parsons. He is a linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, and he recently made a tweet. Of course, he had to delete it because, well, it upset people. My last tweet was no shot at Brittany Griner. I'm super happy she's back home, as she should be. I just have family who have served, and it's crazy to me the president wouldn't bring him home too. I'm the furthest thing from a Trump supporter, but I'm not a fan of Biden either. So they didn't like the first tweet he made, which was criticizing Biden, saying, well, if you brought Griner back, why didn't you bring Paul Whelan back or any of these other guys back? And apparently he was forced to delete this. Also, if what I'm told about the attempts to bring vet Marine Paul Whelan home are true, then the best outcome was accomplished. I pray Mr. Whelan comes home, but am extremely happy for Brittany and her family. I am not too prideful to admit when I've made a mistake. You see, and now he's apologizing for that. He's apologizing for questioning, you know, why this administration is not doing its job. You know, according to Biden and everyone working under him or above him, you know, working the strings, you know, as they puppeteer him, whatever, they claim that the Russians are not willing to negotiate. And being that they're not willing to negotiate, if you just got rid of Victor Bout, I don't know what or who exactly you're going to do in any future situations to bring anyone back home. I think the only person, and this guy, in all honesty, I don't think he should have even been released back to the Russians. I think they clearly want to use him for something. I understand he has not been in the arms game for about 10 years now. He probably has his connections with the military, his connections with intelligence agencies. I mean, this is someone who had clear reason to be back in Russia. Otherwise, they wouldn't have used Griner as, you know, this political tool. And that's something else, you know, I want to bring up is, like, typically, I don't think the Russians would have cared about this sort of thing, about people bringing in cannabis. I really don't think they would care. But given that everything has built up to the war with Ukraine, I think that they saw that they needed to collect their sticks in every opportunity that they could. And that is where this has led to this whole extraditing negotiation thing. So, I mean, I'm very happy for Griner. Trust me, I am empathetic towards people, and I think that to be locked up for bullshit cannabis charges is an injustice against anybody. I don't think marijuana is a completely and utterly harmless drug. I think it is not the sort of drug that's going to destroy your life, however. I mean, but granted, it can, given the way some systems work in some countries, and here in our country too, we still have these laws enforced where people are rotting away in prison for fucking marijuana. I don't like marijuana. I haven't used it in about 4 years, but I don't think people should be locked up for it. And Griner gets to come home, but everybody else, and you know, including these people back in Russia, they are prisoners of war, or a political war, to say the very least. I very much feel for them. I wish there was something we could do, but with the current administration, no, there's nothing that we even have anymore. We just let go of our golden goose when it came to trading with them. We're not going to have that in the future. And I think it's okay to question these things and be critical about them. You know, this guy, Paul Whelan, was doing his job, and he's probably never going to return home. He was doing his job. And, yeah. Very sorry that this happened to Brittany Griner. Very sorry that happened to her. But I think, too, the midterms just happened. It's kind of convenient for Biden to do it now. You know, it just... I would just stop and, you know, just scratch your chin for a minute and think, is he really doing this because he cares about people and he cares about this country? Or is it all about public perception? Again, like, very much into tune with what the linebacker said. I am no Trump supporter, but I am no fan of Biden either. And I think there's many other Americans out there who are very much like me, and they either have buyer's remorse, or, you know, they just see right through it and saw right through it the whole time. He's just, you know, not there. Mentally, he's just not there. He's not there. Anyways, that's about it for your time spent with me in the junkyard today. I am Astrocatical. This is the Astrocastrophe. Thank you for watching this video. If you can, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.